So how do you feel about internet? Do you like it? Do you think it is beneficial or not? Well, I mean, first off, internet is a double-edged sword. It depends on how you use it. So if you don't know how to use it probably incorrectly, it could backfire you, right? It could literally waste all your time and etc. etc. But on one hand, if you know how to use it to your advantage, if you know how to use it correctly, you could benefit so much from it. But to me, I like to believe that I use internet to benefit myself, right? And there's a few ways how I do it. There's a few ways how I do it is one is I use internet to learn English. The way that I can speak like this right now, it is because I teach myself on internet how to speak English, right? I look for tutorials, I look for all these videos, I listen to a lot of people. So in that aspect, I think I'm using internet to improve my life, to improve my English. Of course, you could talk about negative things about internet. Like social media is a huge part of it. A lot of people waste their time on social media, which I don't. I have no social media account. It's not true, I do, but I just don't use them, right? I but the thing is, I have no social media app on my phone, so I don't use them. Because in that aspect, I think I will be wasting my time if I get on social media every day without really benefiting myself. So I do, I'm very aware of wasting time on the internet and spending time on the internet. To me, wasting time on the internet is being on social media and going on a bunch of websites, not benefiting anything. So to me, that is wasting time on internet. On one hand, benefiting myself, doing things like teaching myself English, doing a lot of research on the internet. To me, that is a good use of my time. That benefits me a lot. So that's how I use social media, and that's how I see it. So how okay, you talked about teaching yourself English. How do you do it specifically? Well, it is pretty simple. What I do is I go on YouTube, right? You go on YouTube and you can find a lot of videos on how like a lot of videos on learning English. Like there's hundreds of them. You pick up the one you like and then you watch it. You take tips and tricks from it. You write it down and then you apply it to your own English. So that's how I do it. And you could also watch a lot of people speaking because personally I find teaching content to be a bit boring because they always talk about grammar, they always talk about vocabulary, they always talk about this sentence structure, this and that. It could be boring. So what I do is I normally watch just people speaking. It's not teaching. It could be like a vlog. It could be just some sort of podcast. So, and when I initially I was watching a lot of teaching videos, but now it has kind of shifted from that to just consuming content on YouTube, right? Just consuming normal content. So technically there's a lot of ways to teach yourself English online. It just I do it through YouTube because I find YouTube to be more efficient, a lot faster. Okay, so you don't use social media. Why is it? I think one of the main things that contribute me to not using social media is that I feel like me being on social media is just a waste of time. Because personally, I get nothing out of it. I spend all these minutes and hours in days on social media. What do I get back? Nothing. It is literally nothing. I cannot pinpoint something that I go like, wow, this is it. This is the benefit I get from social media. Look at that. No, I cannot pinpoint anything like that. So I feel like to me it's just a waste of time, a waste of energy, because I could be doing something better in real life just than being on social media. So that's one reason. Another one is misinformation slash fake news, right? And slash not so important news. So let me go over it. So misinformation. Almost, maybe not almost, but almost half of the content, the news that you see on social media is fake. It's misinformation. It is misleading. In fake news, yeah, of course, that's the thing too. It's always like, I sometimes, like, when I used to be on social media, I will see articles like, oh, this specific person died, and then when you go look at it online, they are not. So it's just fake news. And then another one is not so important news. How I call it, because yes, some news might be true, but it does not it doesn't contribute to anything to your life. Like, for example, you finding out about the fact that Leonardo DiCaprio only date only dates only dates women that are below the age of 24. Yeah, it is true, but how does it contribute to your life? Nothing, right? So that is how what I consider not so important news. Me not knowing it will still be the same as before. Like, my life doesn't change just because I found out that Leonardo DiCaprio only date women that are below the age of 24. It doesn't change anything when it comes to my life. So for all of these reasons, that's why I don't use social media. And I quit it last month. I quit it in February. It was kind of like, it wasn't like a serious decision, right? It was just like one day I was like, hey, let me quit social media. And then that's it. I removed all the social media apps on my phone. And then the next thing I realized was my life was going well without social media. I was like, no way. I never thought that. I thought my life would be so miserable because I can't be on social media. But no, it is the total opposite. Now, I'll say that I don't think you can force yourself to quit it, right? You gotta be willing to do it. Because there has been times where I forced myself to quit it. But this time, I didn't force myself. I was just like, let me just quit it and see what happens. And then here I am. I've been without social media for 2 weeks now, which is insane. 2 weeks without social media, 2 weeks without Facebook, 2 weeks without Instagram, 2 weeks without TikTok. But I'm still on YouTube. I use YouTube because it benefits me. I only do things that benefit me. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. I'm not wasting 2 hours of my life on social media every day if it doesn't benefit me, which it doesn't. So, I could go on and on regarding the benefits I get from not using social media, right? But I'm not going to talk about it because it's gonna take a long time. So do you watch TV? I mean, who watches TV nowadays? I mean, I know some people do, but no, I personally don't. I mean, why would you watch TV when you can do everything on your phone? And the problem is that on TV, everything is limited, right? Like everything is you cannot skip it, right? If a movie is being aired on TV, you just gotta sit there and watch it. You can do nothing about it. You cannot skip it. I mean, I'm not talking about DVD, right? I'm talking about like the normal TV. You cannot skip it. But whereas on phone, you can do anything. I feel like nowadays the kind of people that watch TV are mostly old people, right? Because because they have no familiar so they have no familiarity with smartphone, and they are also too old to use it. So most of them just watch TV. Do you think? Okay. So how do you feel about yourself? How do I feel about myself? Well, that is one question that I always struggle to answer because I don't know. I feel like I know nothing about myself, which I know sounds crazy because it is true. I know nothing about myself. What do I like? What do I wanna do? What kind of girl do I like? I know nothing about it. It's like it is so strange. I never like study myself, right? About what I wanna do in my life, about what kind of food I like. It's always been like this. So to answer your question, I don't think I have an answer for it. Okay, let me just describe it. How do I feel about myself? I feel that I'm such a lazy, unmotivated, go for nothing guy. That's how I see about myself. When I say I'm not like trying to humble or anything, it's just the truth. That's how I would describe myself. That's the truth. That's the truth. So have you ever been so ha- so have you ever been to an amusement park? To an amusement park? No, I don't think I haven't. Yeah, not even once. I mean, I'm a grown up. I don't wanna be I don't wanna be having fun in an amusement park. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but it's not something that I find joy in, right? It's not something that I find happiness in. It's not something that I find fun in. No. But it doesn't mean that I don't wanna try out. I might enjoy it, right? Because I've never tried it out. When I actually try it, I might enjoy it. I would probably change my opinion and be like, oh, this is actually fun. I was wrong. That could be me. But as of now, because I have not tried it yet, my opinion is like, no, it wouldn't make me happy. Right? But when I actually try it, things could change, right? So I'm very open to it. Right? It's not like I'm saying, oh, doing this is going to make me miserable, blah blah blah. No, I'm open to the idea. So do you listen to music? Do I listen to music? Yes, I do. So when do you listen to music? Do you listen to it if you feel like when do you listen to it? Well, it depends. It depends on how I feel, right? Normally I wouldn't waste my time listening to music if I don't have to. I feel like the only the only time I listen to music is if I feel like depressed, right? I don't want to do anything. I feel miserable. That's when I listen to music. I have this specific song that I listen to, and the thing is, when I listen to it, it makes me feel like this biggest asshole on the planet. That's why I don't listen to it a lot. It it increases my ego, like up to the top. It's like my my ego level goes up when I listen to it. So it is kind of a bit dangerous. So while I'm listening to it, I feel like I'm the best on top of the world. It's like literally this. I'm this best intelligent, like the most richest guy. It makes me feel superior to anybody. So that's why I'm kind of like I. So that's why I don't listen to it a lot because it makes me feel that way. I only listen to it when I'm really down, when I'm really depressed. Only thing I listen to it because to me it is like this, like super powerful device. Like when I put it on, it makes me feel like the strongest, the best. Anyway, yeah, the point is I do listen to music. Do you work out? Do I work out? I do. In fact, I do. I do. I do. I do 30 push-ups a day, and then I do 20 squats a day, right? So I do it before I take a bath, because I feel like that is the best time to do it, because after you finish it you get all sweaty, so you wanna take a bath, so you can just jump right into the bath and then feel good. So that's when I do it. Otherwise, I don't like the feeling of like being sweaty and sitting around. And also, not to mention now it is summer, so you get sweat easily. Not to mention, so what do you like the most about your country? What do I like the most about my country? Whew. I've never thought about it. I've never thought about it. Let's see. Whew. I mean, I like food for sure. I like the food here. What about people? I like the people, right? So people are good. What about politics? Regarding that, I don't get into it. I'm not a fan of politics. I've never taken an interest in politics. Even when I was a kid, I always thought it was boring. So regarding politics, I don't get into it. Uh, you know what? What I like, I think what I like most about this place is the landscape, specifically the place that I live in. I think it is a very good neighborhood to live in, very good place to live in terms of geography, right? Because there is literally a beach right outside of my house, so I could go swimming anytime. And yeah, I feel like that is the only thing that I really like about this country is the place that I live in. I know it might sound like a selfish, you know, answer, but that's really what I like about this country. Let's talk about my sister. So my sister, currently she's not home. Uh, she is currently, how should I put it? Let's just say she's coming back home in a few months. I believe that she's coming back home by uh January, February, March, April, May, June, by June this year, June, right? June 2024. That's about the time she's coming back. So I we haven't met each other in real life for how many years? Two, maybe, yeah, 2 years now. So it's I've been kind of excited to see her in person. Also, when she's back home, we could go out to a lot of places. We could hang out. I could show her around, and it's gonna be exciting, interesting. It's gonna be exciting. how many minutes are we? How many minutes are we into the video? 25 minutes. So I could go on for a few minutes. Boom. If you could go back in time, what would you do? If I could go back in time, what would I do? Dude, I wanna do a lot of things, but if I had to prioritize one thing, that would be the fact that I wanna fix all the mistakes that I made in the past, right? So what I would do is I would go back in time to the points where I make mistakes. So I would go to each point of it and I would fix it. One point fixed, another one fixed, this one fixed. So that's probably what I would do, is I will fix all the mistakes that I made in the past. And I will become a man without mistakes. I will become a man without mistakes. So what's one superpower you wish you have? You wish you had, let's see. Immortality. I don't want to die. I know that people have to die, you have to die, I have to die, but I don't want to die. So perhaps having immortality is a great idea. I mean, you could argue that if you have immortality, you have to, suffer forever. But I feel like everyone would take it if, like, everyone would take immortality if, like, because you're the one that makes your life, that makes yourself suffer. No one's doing that. So if you could stop yourself from making, if you could stop yourself from, okay, whatever. So, okay, the point is, I want immortality. I wanna live forever. I don't wanna die. Speaking of dying, I don't know if you know Dragon Ball Z, right? It is this massively popular manga slash anime, and the sad news is that the creator of Dragon Ball Z, he died. He died yesterday. Yeah, he passed away yesterday. I think he was 68. Yeah, so he was only 68. So, but I don't know how he died, right? He might have been diagnosed with some kind of disease. Who knows? So because of it now, a lot of people are making videos about it online, talking about how they feel about it, and well, just typical stuff, right? Every time somebody dies on the internet, you make a video about it, talking about how sad you are, how much you were a fan of this person, and how much you feel sad about it, blah blah blah. Okay, let me continue to another story about death. Right. So this fan, what is so significant about it? Well, so in the country that I live in this tradition, when you hold a funeral, you make plastic fans and you give it to people that come to your funeral. And this is it. This is one of those fans. And here's the name of the person who passed away. They put it on the fan. Here's the name, as you can see. So this person right here, she was the friend of my sister, right? So and she died back in 2021. When she passed away, she was 23. So she died at the young age. I don't know the cause of the death, but I believe she was diagnosed with some kind of disease and it took her life away. And so this is pretty much the dedication to her. And like, okay, let me talk let me talk a little bit about her. So you know because she was a friend of my sister. you know I I talked to her a few times. When I was young, I she was, to be honest, I don't remember much of her, like appearance. I mean, I can slightly remember how she looked like, but she was, if I have to describe it, she was pretty. Yeah, she was pretty. When I saw her, right, she had like this short haircut. It wasn't long, it was just like short. And yeah, she looked more like a tomboy. Yeah, she was pretty, but she was like a tomboy. And then yeah, that's how I knew about her. Yeah. It's kind of sad that she died at such a young age. I certainly don't want to die at the young age. Why? No, I know that I know death is inevitable. It can it could come to you at any time. Today, tomorrow, next week. You could die at any moment. You don't know when you're going to die. Yeah, you might have a body, so you could make a assumption that you will die at at the old age, but you don't know. Anybody can die at any time, regardless of how strong they are, regardless of all of this. There's always the possibility of you being dead at any time. You could die today. I swear to God, you could die today. You don't know what plans God has for you. You don't know what plans God has installed for you. You just gotta assume that God wants you to live long and wants you to live happy and healthy, and you just gotta assume that. So anyway, let's stop talking about death. It's not a very well, it's not a very fun topic, right? It's depressing. No one wants to talk about it. So anyway, with that, that's all for this video, and I'll see you guys again. Take care. And before that, let me say a few words, and that's all for this video, and signing off from this world, and bye.